Hey guys, what's up? Darian here. I'm just going to tell y'all a little bit about my personal life and get that out of the way so that you guys know exactly why I have what I have and kind of what's gone on in my life that would give me the two cars that I've got. I've got this that Honda Civic over there, and I've also got my RX8, and basically, I had a 6-speed standard RX8. It was my first car. And I got it before I got my license. So my parents, I drove around in it with my parents before I went and took my driver's test and got my license. And then I still had to drive around with my parents because my parents are kind of, I guess you could say, overprotective. They don't trust any teenager's driving ability, basically. So I had to drive around with my parents after I got my license for 2 or 3 months. And that was a pain in the butt. But then I finally got to drive by myself to school. And on the second day, I was pulling out of the school parking lot to leave school, and the truck in front of me rear-ended the truck in front of her. And I rear-ended her. They didn't really do anything but mess up my front bumper and my hood, but they deemed the car totaled. They valued the car at $7,000, and I had full coverage on it, and I had Progressive, and they said that between the bumper, the front headlights, and the hood, that it was going to cost right at $6,900 to get all of it. And you think to yourself, well, what the hell? That doesn't make any kind of sense. Because I did some research online after I wrecked the car, and it should have costed maybe $2 or $3 grand to get all that stuff. And that's if you go with all OEM stuff and get it painted and everything. But they deem it total. So, that said, they gave the car dealership we were paying on it from all of the money. So I got nothing. So we're back at square one again, and I don't have a car. My mom does a little bit of looking around. We have a budget of around $2,500 at the time. But she really wanted to pay off her Ford Explorer that she had. So we found that Honda Civic at a dealership. The guy wanted $1,500 down. So we did $1,500 down, $300 a month, and now it's paid off. And this was back in February. So after we got it paid off, even while I was paying the Civic off, I was saving and saving and saving and saving. Every last penny I had that I didn't have to use on gas, it went back into my account. And basically, we found this RX8 automatic, which I really didn't like. And we looked at it back in June. Or not June. We looked at it back in March because we were gonna get me another RX8, and I was adamant about that. So we looked at the car and asked the guy how much he wanted for it. He wanted $4,500 for it. This is about right around 6 months ago, and we had husky puppies at the time, because I don't know if you guys know, but I have 3 purebred Siberian Huskies, and they're awesome dogs, by the way. They just like to get out, so we have shock collars on them. But anyways, that said, we saved half the money from the husky puppies, and, and,, and, 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 and so my mom Basically, she had right around $700 to give me to help me at least put a down payment on a car. And I had $900 after like 6 months of saving and working a lot. I worked 2 jobs, and this was all just to be able to get this car. And I worked for an auto shop for a couple months, and then I worked, and also I worked for Remote Control Hobbies, which most of you guys would know about, I think. If not, well, there you go. I work at Remote Control Hobbies in Lake City. And so we messaged the guy again with this RX8, and he said that he would work with us. So we went to go test drive the car, and the car ran good. It had a hard time starting up, but it ran pretty good for the time we test drove it. And then we went and parked it back, and the guy got home afterwards. We went and test drove it. Oh, it was just his wife, and we waited for him to get home. And after he got home, he went inside without even saying anything to us. And he pulled out his receipts, and he said, "I only have $2,600 in the car, so if you give me $2,600, it's yours." And he said that he would take $1,600 down, and then in 2 weeks I would have to give him another $500, and then the next 2 weeks I would have to give him another $500. So this past weekend, it's paid off, and the car's mine. So all the money I get now is going to be going towards full coverage insurance and getting it everything it needs to be running perfect. And by perfect, I mean perfect. I'm working a little bit more hours now, so I'm making a little bit more money. So it's easier for me to be able to do these things. And I love this car. Cars were introduced in my life. I mean, they've been in my life my whole life, obviously. But me starting to love cars was back in 2001. My dad, for Christmas, got our family a PlayStation 2 with Gran Turismo 3. And even in Gran Turismo 3, one of my favorite cars to drive was the RX8 prototype they had in that game. Because at the time of that game coming out, the RX8 was still just a prototype. So, given that, I've loved cars for right about probably 90% of my life. And this car has been there pretty much since day one. And I couldn't be happier. Even though it's an automatic, the standard had less torque than the automatic does. So what I'm thinking about doing is just going ahead with the automatic and tuning it up, getting it to go fast. Because it's already easy to get the standards to go fast. But I think that you could make the 4-speed faster because of its increased amount of torque. So, anyways, thanks guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will be doing many videos in the future. The reason that I haven't been doing very many videos is because I haven't had the money to do any mods on the car. So once I start doing mods on the car, then we will be making many more videos, or I will be. I will have my stepbrother, my stepfather probably helping me out on some things, because some things are not a one-person job. I know how to change out the cat. I know how to do spark plugs. I know how to do coils. You know, I know how to do small mods. And I know that none of those things really are mods. They're just things that you could do to get the car running right. But those are going to be the things I do first. And then I'll start really modding the car. Anyways, like I said earlier, like, comment, subscribe. And we'll be back in the future. Thanks.